Yeah, so Chris lives up in Norton Summit, just in the foothills of Adelaide. So Norton Summit is known to have some power insecurities up there. Obviously in the summertime with the risk of bushfire and heat waves, they tend to cut power out to the property. So security of supply was very important for Chris. Also in wintertime with storms, high winds and lightning and things like that, trees tend to drop and over power lines and cause a lot of outages. So it was very important for Chris to have a security of supply. Chris was also very mindful of the fact that he is in a fire risk area, so we definitely made sure that we had things like a couple of pumps there backed up on the battery, so in case there ever was to be any issues there with fire, that he would have his pumps backed up and he knew he had water. There's a few things we had to consider on Chris's job. Some of the things we had to consider were shading. Obviously there's a lot of trees around the property, so we had to be mindful of shading. Although there's not a lot of shading on the property, we decided to go for an optimised system, so that way when there is shading on certain parts of the home, we're not going to affect the majority of the system and have a good amount of power going into his battery. The design of the home was built completely out of timber on the inside, so everything was basically no cavities, so we had to be mindful of the way that we ran cables around the property. There was a bit of surface mount conduit and things like that, which we discussed with Chris. We let him know exactly where we'd be running our cabling, so Chris was aware and he knew what to expect, because basically on a raked ceiling there's no other option. We're able to achieve a high output system with a low amount of panels. So that's very important when we've got certain areas to work with within a home. Obviously he didn't want them on the front of the property, he didn't want to spoil the look of the cottage, so we were able to achieve that all on the northwestern side of the house, nicely tucked away. Chris is very happy with the outcome. With the battery installed as well, the payback goes out just a little bit. We're probably looking at around a 5-year return. That's including the battery, the complete new solar system with backup protection.